You know, it's kind of been a while since you guys have yelled at me in the comments. Smash Ultimate's classic mode is really strong, but there are obviously areas where things can be improved. I've made 2 videos prior to this where I fixed certain classic mode routes using mods, and I asked you guys to drop your ideas in the comments. And if you'd like to see your idea come to life in the next video, drop a comment with a route idea, a theme, or even just a quick fix. It's taken a little longer than I expected, but we're finally here for round 3. Let's fix Smash Ultimate. Last time I messed with Mario, I gave him a Mario RPG themed route, and while I still do like that idea, a lot of you said that it felt too specific, so I wanted to give it another go. Just as a reminder, Mario's official classic mode has him take on various Nintendo characters, each representing a different series. And frankly, I think that suffers from the opposite problem, where it's just far too generic. So this time, I've gone ahead and made a very Mario-specific route, referencing different points across his long lifetime. The first battle references Donkey Kong in a fight against a red DK, along with a red Peach to reference Lady. Naturally, it takes place on 75 meters to complete this arcade Donkey Kong origin, where Mario ironically wasn't even named Mario, but instead Jumpman. The next fight has Mario team up with his brother Luigi against a blue Bowser while on Mushroom Kingdom. Of course, this is based on Super Mario Bros. 1, however the blue Bowser also throws in the Lost levels as a reference. In that game, you could encounter a blue Bowser at different points, and this character was known as Bowser's brother. Third, Mario takes on all of the Koopalings on Yoshi's Island. While specifically made to pay homage to Super Mario World, the Koopalings debuted in Mario 3, and I also made the only item to spawn the Tanuki leaf, which also debuted in that game, so it works for both games overall. Next up, we have a fight against Bowser Jr. on Delfino Plaza, coming from Bowser Jr.'s first appearance in Super Mario Sunshine. Jr. is joined by 2 enemy Inklings, with their ink referencing the paint and goop that plays a primary role in the events of Sunshine. I thought this was a pretty clever way to reference that game, and if there was a way to change their behavior like in Spirit Battles, I'd make them prefer their rollers and paintbrush attacks as well. Then, a fight alongside Rosalina against a giant Bowser on the Mario Galaxy stage, obviously referencing that duo of games. Not much more to say here. Penultimately, a fight against Builder Mario on the Mario Maker stage. I also threw in the yellow and green Luigi color scheme, which matches up with Builder Luigi's appearance, even though it isn't a direct costume itself. For the boss fight, of course I kept it as Giga Bowser. However, this time, I felt it made more sense to change the stage from Final Destination to New Donk City Hall Omega, just to cap the whole route off with Mario's latest mainline adventure. There could only be 6 fights in classic mode plus the boss fight, so unfortunately I felt a little bit more limited. However, if I could throw in just one more fight, I would have included a fight alongside a Toad Mii Brawler against a Shy Guy Mii Brawler and King K. Rool representing Wart, to reference Super Mario Bros. 2. But I think I got a decent amount of broad strokes for the Mario series here, so overall I'm pretty content. And you know, with that sweet stash, Mario has an amazing shave routine. And you deserve one too, with the sponsor of today's video, Manscaped.com, the men's lifestyle brand that's shaking up the beard market. As a professional beard haver, I know how irritating a long, itchy beard can get, and having a premium beard trimmer is the key to that solution. And that's where Manscaped's Beard Hedger Pro Kit comes in. The powerful motor and titanium-coated blade combined with its unique cutting angle makes for the absolute cleanest cut possible. And you can choose from 20 different lengths with this zoom wheel, all using only a single guard. Being waterproof, cordless, and rechargeable makes this the perfect shower tool for your beard and ball. And bam! The perfect trim for your beard. And the Pro Kit comes with shampoo, conditioner, oil, and balm, all dermatologist tested to make your beard its very best. Get 20% off plus free shipping anywhere in the world when you use my link in the description or the promo code Aaronitmar at manscaped.com. So next up, I kinda have beef with Pyra and Mithras. Well, not specifically them, but there just ended up being too many classic modes where the theme was partners or duos, and while that's kinda cute, it just ends up being a bit too much by the end of the roster. So for this one, I took inspiration from the Great J-Man's comment and created a route called the Weapons of Legend, with fights against characters that wield iconic weaponry, which makes sense considering Pyra and Mithra are, themselves, blades. First is a fight against both Breath of the Wild Link and Toon Link, each wielding their own Master Sword. I would have thrown in Young Link too, but he's just got the Kokiri Sword. Then we have a fight against Chrom and Lucina, who both wield the Falchion, a divine sword that makes multiple appearances across the Fire Emblem series. Next we have a fight against 2 of the hero appearances, the Luminary from Dragon Quest XI and Erdrick from Dragon Quest III. Erdrick wields a sword quite literally named Erdrick's Sword, a legendary blade that makes multiple appearances in the Dragon Quest series. The Luminary, meanwhile, wields the Sword of Light, another sacred sword that has a lot involved that I won't explain here. Just know it's legendary. Next, we have a fight against Sora, who wields the Keyblade, a special type of blade with unique powers that can only be wielded by people with strong enough hearts. After that, a fight against Byleth, who wields 4 of the Hero's Relics, weapons that were created and used during the Hero's War. Byleth wields Eredbar, Amir, Failnaught, and Sword of the Creator in their moveset. Penultimately, we have a battle against Steve. Unlike all of the others in this classic mode, Steve is included not because he wields an ancient or powerful weapon, but more because of the popularity of the Minecraft tools themselves. I mean, you show someone a picture of a diamond sword, they're gonna know it's Minecraft. The boss fight for this route is against Shulk, tying it back to the Xenoblade Chronicles series while also including a fight against the Monado, a powerful mythical blade that gives its wielder the power to see into the future. This additionally works because Pyra and Mithra fight against Shulk at the end of their reveal trailer for Smash Ultimate. And now let's do a super quick fix, this time for Roy's classic mode. It seems a bit odd that Roy's classic mode is literally themed around sword fighters and yet ends with a simple fight against Master and Crazy Hand, especially when you consider that Ganon is right there wielding giant ass swords. So there we go. Roy finishes off his route against Ganon, making this a complete and proper sword themed route. Staying in the Fire Emblem neighborhood, Lucina's classic mode always felt a bit weak. And Emical Fire seems to agree because they came up with a good idea for Lucina, focusing on time travel. Lucina travels back in time in Fire Emblem Awakening, and she's not the only character in Smash by any means who has done this. So here's her new classic mode, Traveling Through Time. Our first fight, as suggested by Emical Fire, has Lucina fight Link and Young Link. While Young Link is obvious, being from Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild Link is a bit more loose with the definition. While he never properly time travels, he's put in a sort of stasis for 100 years prior to the events of Breath of the Wild, so in a way he kind of time skipped, just not in the way you'd think of when you hear time travel. The fight being on Great Bay references Majora's Mask, another game Young Link is from that deals with time travel as a core mechanic. Next is a fight against Bayonetta, one of each of her designs. In Bayonetta 2, she travels back in time to fight a battle that she fought in during Bayonetta 1, essentially having 2 of her coexist at the exact same time. This also happens to be the time that she fought on the Umbra Clock Tower, which is why there are 2 of her on this stage. The Luminary alongside Veronica from Dragon Quest XI. While the passage of time is relevant to the plot of Dragon Quest XI, an optional side portion of the game also sees the party going to Tickington and traveling through time to correct errors that have occurred in other heroes' journeys. After that is Ness, who travels back in time with his party in Earthbound. I picked Magicant for the fight because it felt sufficiently fantastical since nothing in Smash really matches up with their time travel. The only item found during this battle are Mr. Saturn, referencing the events after they time travel, but also the fact that their time machine looks like a Mr. Saturn itself. Next, a fight against 2 Sonics. The first is, of course, normal Sonic, who's time traveled on multiple occasions throughout the Sonic series, from Sonic CD to Sonic Boom. The latter is also why the fight takes place on Windy Hill Zone. The second Sonic is the white-ish Sonic that references Silver the Hedgehog, a character from Sonic 06 who travels from 200 years in the future to attempt to prevent calamity. And finally, Sora. Time travel is really weird in Kingdom Hearts, and it happens fairly regularly. However, the time travel I'm focusing on for this classic mode is the Timeless River, a world that Sora, Donald, and Goofy travel to in Kingdom Hearts 2 that takes them back to the classic black and white Disney era. Sora uses the Timeless River costume for this fight, and the stage is PictoChat 2, an all black and white stage meant to be a nod to Timeless River's black and white aesthetic. And then she fights the hands, I guess. I couldn't really think of anything clever here, although I did make the fight take place on Arena Ferox Omega. It's sort of a shame that the hand fights are almost always on normal Final Destination, so it's cool to see them on other flat arenas that match the character. And finally, Jace dropped a great idea on the last video for Luigi, Eternal Understudies, where he fights allies, sidekicks, or partners to other characters. It's kind of a broad definition, but I do really like it nonetheless. First up, Luigi takes on Diddy Kong, the sidekick to Donkey Kong. Second, Ken, the rival to Ryu, the main character of sorts for the Street Fighter series. This also plays on the clone aspect touched on in Ken's reveal direct, with Sakurai making a joke about Luigi and Ken both being clones of their counterparts. Next, a Mii Gunner dressed up as Tails, the sidekick and partner to Sonic the Hedgehog. After that, I have one that I think is pretty clever, another fight against all of the Koopalings. This one is more of a meta choice because the Koopalings definitely got overshadowed once Nintendo introduced Bowser Jr. to the world. I mean, they had like a decade-long absent, so I would definitely say that they are understudy status. And our next fight is playing real loose with this theme, Duck Hunt. I like to think that technically the third character in this grouping, the player who's doing all of the shooting with the zapper, is really overshadowed by the duck and the dog. Most people don't even know they exist, and that's a shame. I'm rooting for you, person who that hand is attached to. The penultimate fight is against a giant purple Luigi representing Waluigi. This one is a sort of double reference. Waluigi is the sidekick to Wario, but he's also the real eternal understudy because he's the only plumber to not actually make it as a playable fighter in Smash Bros. Poor guy. And the boss fight for this route has Luigi take on Crazy Hand, who is definitely the partner to Master Hand, with Master Hand being sort of the main one. But if your difficulty is high enough, you're gonna fight both regardless, so it kind of works out either way. And that is honestly everything I came up with for this video. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you have an idea that you want to see come alive, please do not hesitate to put them down in the comments because I will be looking for inspiration down there for when I make the next video. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, and please remember to be good to one another.